Hey there, it's Makarov owner. I wanted to go ahead and make a little video. I have a Pinfire 16 gauge shotgun. It's somewhere between 1840 and 1860. Has a Damascus barrel, but somebody just like put a painted coating all over this thing, brown for the stock and black for the barrel and the other hardware parts. And I had to do a little bit of hardware work on it. There's two, I don't know what they call trigger systems, anyway, one for each side, and there was a little bolt here that was messed up. That was stripped out on the other side, so I enlarged the bolt and that kind of thing. I had to re-tap the hole in order to make it work. And this is a side lock, which is a little bit weird. You push to the side and then you can tilt open. And being Pinfire, you have little pins that'll come out the top. They actually insert to each cartridge, and you have to put these hammers at half cock when you go to open it up, otherwise they're kind of in your way. And so this is what they look like. I'm not going to close it with these in right now, but when I put the cartridge in, that's what they look like. These are not the original ones. These are modified 20 gauge. And then I just did my own load with it. Being a Damascus barrel, I don't want to over pressurize our system here. That would be really bad. You know, this gun, the hammers are a little floppy. It's old. It's not perfect. It'd be nice if they were a little tighter, but it'll fire the way it is. I've never live fired it. I fired some primers. So I had to get, an improvised load ready before I could go ahead and fire the thing, because I didn't have any shells for it. So what I came up with was modified 20 gauge, and it'll sit inside the breech pretty well. It's a little loose, so I'm going to get some expansion, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. And the way I modified this, I have a little punch. Where did my little punch go? Right here. So what I did was, right here at the head, there's a little hole, you can see right there, and there's another hole on the other side here. A little bit difficult with this camera, it's hard to tell, it's my cell phone. Anyway, so what I did was I drilled a hole down through, and slightly on an angle. The one that the firing pin will go into is actually very close to the rim here, and then the bottom hole is further out, so they're actually drilled on an angle. And then I tried to keep them as centered in alignment as I could when I did the drilling. And then I had to drill a pocket for the primer to sit in, which is here. I'm trying to get that thing for the camera where you can see it, but not be so glaring. So you have to kind of slip these things down inside the cartridges and then kind of stuff it in place. And what I've found is that to put it in place, this little 1/4-inch rod works pretty good. To get them back out, part of the reason for the second hole is after it's spent, I can push through right here and I can get it to start out, and then just slam the case down by hand and it'll pop out the rest of the way. I've been getting quite a few misfires with the primer, because it really is a percussion cap. I tried small primers and pistol and large primers, also the boxer type. You got to hit them at least twice, so the percussion cap one is better, but I'm wondering too if we might not be better off doing like the homemade 22 slurry, where you just put it down in there and then run with that. So I haven't live fired this guy yet, other than for the primers. So you can see what I did with the primer cup. Basically, this is a cutaway. This was done for me, so I'd be able to see what I'm doing before I actually went to load. And also I could test to see whether or not it worked, and I could do it a lot easier by doing that. I could just insert the headpiece, so it was much easier to work with. So I got that concept pretty close. I got this to go ahead and fire just this morning, you know, through the case with these percussion caps. So I put in 15 grains of Pyrodex, put in a wad, and then probably about a half an ounce of lead shot type material, and then another wad. And this is as ready to go as I can make it. And number 2 is right here as well. And then for wads, I didn't use you can see I cut the top off. I actually just used some cheapo Safeway plastic bag stuff. And just cut some sections of that, stuffed it in, and used that as wads. It'll come out just fine. So I might have a little plastic fly out the end. Not all that worried about it. So anyway, these are as ready to go as I can make it, and what I used for a pin, soft material didn't work, so I found a spring. I've got another one over here someplace, but basically it's kind of a curly Q pressure spring. It had 2 long ends on it, about a 1/16 of an inch, and I cut those ends off, and so I made up 2 shells using what I had. And then to retain them just a little bit, I put a little bit of the wife's fingernail glue on there, or super glue would work too, just to hold it so they can't wiggle around and come out while I'm in transport. Another thing I might not have mentioned, when you go to use this gun, when you open it up, I'll go ahead and put these in just so you can see the chamber. And I'll show you something else while they're in there. So when they're like that, I'm at half cock right now. You can see how that's actually not sitting on the firing pins. So I could carry this out in the field to hunt with it or what have you, like they used to. I'm not going to. I'll probably play this a little bit, clean it up, put a new stock on it, because honestly I don't like it looking like a toy. I want it to look like the firearm should be. And once I do that, I'll probably sell it. And these guns are quite expensive. You find parts like on eBay, that kind of thing. You don't see very many at all together and in a fireable condition. But this was made in Belgium between 1840 and 1860, and there's no way to get an exact date that I know of. It's not one of the fancier engraved models. It's kind of a baseline model, but still Damascus barreled, quite old, and anyway, it's pretty neat. Honestly, I was more excited about this particular shotgun than I have been with any of the other guns for quite a while. I mean, you just don't find these things. I got a heck of a price on it when I bought it, and it needed some stuff, and I was able to correct those issues. In fact, one of the hammers didn't even work, so I was able to get the hammer working and got that bolt modified and all that stuff same day I got it. This is 9 months or a year later where I'm finally getting ammunition made up to actually take it out and shoot it. So it's kind of in my downtime I think about how to get these things going, and it takes a little bit. Anyway, just wanted to share that. Have a good day. Bye.